Let's bring on board CK Jain, President of Grain Ethanol Manufacturers Association, as well as Kushal Mittal, a joint MD at BCL Industries, to talk to us about this. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining in with us this afternoon on ET Now. And Mr. Jain, I want to start with you. Now, what we also understand that given this current issue that is there in terms of dedicated ethanol manufacturing plants which are facing this financial stress, and we understand that the GEMA has actually written to the Food and Consumer Affairs Minister stating about this issue. Help us understand what is the real problem, what will be the relief that is possible in terms of the industry that is seeking. Could you highlight just that?
Yes, good morning and welcome to all ET Now viewers. From GEMA, we have written to the Minister, Consumer Affairs, that there is a problem. We have written three problems. One is availability of the maize or availability of broken rice, damaged food grain, and the unviable pricing. We requested them, please give some. They have got 17 million tons of surplus rice, which is lying wasted there, and they have no space to procure for next season, which is coming in 2 months. We requested them, can you just give us a portion of it, not 17 million, but a portion of it, maybe 4 or 5 million tons of rice, which may be able to give us supply the ethanol for ethanol blending. That is one thing. Another thing we requested that maize, till the time our country is sufficient in maize crop growing, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 4 years, you should allow maize import in OGL. And at the same time, you should give some of the portion of the surplus FCI rice to this. You see, we have to have both the securities, fuel security as well as food security. So fuel security is as equally important as much food. No doubt food is more. Another thing we ask is, please see the real-time grain prices. Grain availability is not there, the prices are not there, and please revise, give some relief. Consequently, the industry will suffer. There is no doubt about it. 4 months, during the next 4 months, we have to give 200 crore liters of ethanol, which require 5 million tons of grain. And we don't know where we'll get it. And how the blending will continue at 15% or not, we don't know. Because there's no market, there's no grain available at any price. That is my thing on that, please.
Mr. Mittal, I'm going to come to you also, right? Like Mr. Jain was also mentioning, grain, if the availability of grain is not there, that's a very big issue, right? Because then you cannot deliver, whether in terms of ethanol or any of the products that are there, if the grain availability is not there. Now, given this issue, one, talk to us about how it will impact the company as well. And also, do you think, given that you're a bigger player in this side, BCL Industries, maybe that consolidation will continue and you could maybe see some bit of a gain coming in. How are you placed in this situation currently?
As Jan sir rightly mentioned, the industry is in an infancy stage, and there is a problem when it comes to the raw material. But as I've mentioned in the past as well, see, earlier what the industry was doing was, getting the rice from FCI, converting it into ethanol, and then selling it to the OMCs. So there was no expertise involved. Now, how do you differentiate a player like BCL as opposed to the other players? Now you'll get to see the change. See what we have done as a company. We have installed a power plant that runs solely on paddy straw. That saves us a lot of money. What we are doing now, looking into this problem, is that we were able to accumulate a good amount of wet maize, damaged maize that is inferior in quality and does not have many buyers. So looking into that, we installed our own maize dryers so that we go into the market and procure the maize that no one else is procuring. And of course, size will also matter in the long run. And the industry will survive on small efficiencies that we can all work on. So overall, yes, the industry is in a problem, but I think now what you're going to see is differentiation between the companies on how they work, what raw material they function, and how they procure the same raw material.
Right. Mr. Jain, in terms of pricing also, now going forward, what do we expect the prices, especially for broken rice and maize prices? Do you see them stabilizing, or, where do you see it moving?
At least for obtaining these 200 crore liters, damaged fruit grade price should go to 72, 73 rupees, which is now at present is 64 rupees. And we have requested for maize-based price to be 82 rupees. And you see, BPCL, HPCL, IOCL can afford it. We are partners to make up this biofuel policy, ethanol blending program of the government of India as successful. We should not have the relation of the seller and buyer. We are partners. We are the manufacturer and they are the blenders. So they should look at us also and try to give us some relief immediately, so that they get their own share and they also have their 15% blending going on. Next year is going to be 20%. So how that will come? That they have to see seriously.
Serious
So these are the prices brand we are asking for.
Absolutely, that's a serious concern there, Mr. Jain, coming in. Mr. Mittal, all I just want to know is now in terms of the FCI, they had imposed some restrictions in terms of the supply of rice for ethanol production in July last year. Has that been restored? And also in terms of what kind of relief are you seeking on that front as well for the supply of rice?
See, the restriction that was put on FCI rice has not been restarted yet. And that is, the biggest demand from the industry and the ask. I think if, considering that the industry is still in a infancy stage, and it, kid sometimes requires a tricycle before they can ride a bicycle. Similarly, the ethanol industry, grain-based ethanol industry, has grown manyfold in the past 2-3 years. And raw material sourcing has been a problem and will continue to be a problem. So what we are requesting is that, the government is sitting on a record amount of rice, and a new crop is, approaching. So some portion of that rice be given to the industry so that, we have a little bit of raw material support for the time being until the country's agriculture system shifts completely towards maize. See, maize is the crop of the future, that's for sure. It's beneficial for the country in both environmental reasons and fiscal reasons. So it's a very good, long-term initiative to focus the industry on maize. But until that shift happens, our request for now would be to, have some portion of the rice be given to the industry so that we have raw material to process. But in the long run, maize is the future, and this will have very good environmental benefits as well, especially in northern areas when the groundwater is going down. And it also helps increase farmers' income. A farmer tends to earn 25 to 30% more if given MSP for maize as opposed to being given MSP on paddy. So it takes confidence on the ground level for a farmer to diversify towards maize from their traditional paddy. So that will take some time, and for the meantime, the industry requires a bit of FCI rice, in my opinion.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jain, as well as Mr. Mittal, for joining in with us this afternoon on ET Now. It's good to get the perspective coming in from the industry front as well.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.